You got it? You got the picture you have with me? Okay, hanging next to the side of that pump was a bucket of water. Okay? The first thing you are tempted to do when you see that bucket of water, if you're crawling across that desert and your tongue is stuck to your roof of your mouth, you're going to drink that bucket of water. I guarantee you're going to try to drink that bucket of water. If you do, you're stupid. You just killed yourself. Okay? You're in a desert. That bucket is the only bucket of water you got. And if you don't pour it in there, you're not going to get any more water out of that pump. Okay, this is an old-timey pump. You've got to prime that pump. If you don't prime that pump, no more water's coming out. That's it. You got your one bucket and you're dead. Okay? That's exactly what I was doing wrong in networking. Okay? And I want you to think about that. That's really key to what I'm going to talk about. I like to talk about servant leadership and how it's taught me to drive revenue with my networking. Okay? Servant leadership is something that I'd never heard the term before. I was networking, doing everything wrong. People said, hey, you need to meet Christine Spray. This is a friend of mine. If you ever meet her, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It took me a year to get on her calendar. I finally ran into her at one meeting, and she said, sure, I'll be glad to meet with you. And it was still another 2 months later before I finally got on her calendar. And we sat down, and she gave me 1 hour. And for those next 2 hours, she poured into my life, okay? So I'm telling you, she gave me 1 hour, and she gave me 2 hours. You see what I'm saying? She poured into my life, and I could not believe I didn't get a word in edgewise from this girl. She asked me who I was, who I needed to meet, and then she began to start talking about the people I needed to meet, and then she was introducing me to people in that meeting, writing down notes. I'm gonna introduce you to this person, I'm gonna introduce you to that person. If you didn't see that happen, you wouldn't believe that that works, okay? But I tell you what, if Christine Spray were selling used cars, she would be the best used car salesperson in the world. I guarantee you, people would line up to get out and have her sell them a car. She's that kind of person, okay? And so that's where I ran into the idea of servant leadership. I call it GiveFirst. Other people call it net weaving. Other people call it pay-it-first networking. But I was really intrigued. Does this really work? But I was like you are. I was on the edge of this precipice. I could see her on the other side of the chasm doing it, but I couldn't see how I was going to get across that chasm. Because I was desperate. I needed to make sales. I needed to drive my business. But I had no idea where the bridge was to get across, right? I could see she was doing it. I could see it work. But I had no clue how to get across that bridge, right? As I kept networking and she introduced me to people, she introduced me to a group called CEO Netweavers. Now, what you don't know about me is my mother started a company 21 years ago. When I started really seriously networking was because I wanted to grow this company. It was a $75 million a year company at that point. It's now a $250 million a year company. So you can tell I've driven a lot of revenue, okay? I want to tell you, I'm speaking from experience. And she introduced me to this networking group. And this networking group is CEOs, general managers, people of P&L responsibility of $10 million and more, okay? And we're not talking about lightweight, maybe this will work kind of, people, right? These are people who know what's going on, they know how to do it, they've been successful, maybe this is their 4th or 5th company that they're running, okay? Or they're in transition looking for the next opportunity to do the same thing, okay? And at this place, that's when they started talking about servant leadership, and I went, Christine Spray, oh my gosh, this is exactly what that girl did in my life. She poured her life into my life without any expectation of anything in return. And now I can see the bridge across. I can see the bridge across the chasm. You see what I'm saying? I can see, okay, I can get there. I can do this. If these people at this level of success are telling me that's the way to get across, I can see the bridge to get across now, okay? And so the other part of CEO Netweavers is a term they use. It's called net weaving. And we all think of networking. And networking has that 4-letter word in the middle. When I was growing up, people told me 4-letter words were something that didn't come out of my mouth, or I got it washed out with a bar of soap. So I avoid these 4-letter words, and that 4-letter word is work. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my mouth out in a second here. All right, but that is what we think of. Networking is a lot of work, right? What these people said and what they taught at this meeting, it really opened my eyes to how Christine Spray was able to do what she did in my life. And that was, they talked about net weaving. Weave that network. And what that means is, it's not me working a crowd. I'm not going to go to this guy and sell him what I got. I'm It's not going to work. That doesn't work anymore. Okay? But I'm going to introduce him to the person he needs to meet in the room right back over there. And I'm going to make sure that they connect. That's net weaving. You start weaving those nets together, and then you've got that water that you can use to prime that pump, and then you can start getting all the water you want out of it. But you've got to believe that if you jump out over that chasm, that bridge is going to be there to catch you, right? It's kind of like Indiana Jones in the, what was that one? Tomb Raider, was it Tomb Raider, or was it the Crusaders one? Where you couldn't see the bridge, you know, it blended right in, and you had to lean over to see the bridge, right? I can't remember which one it was. It was one of those. But it's like that. You have to step out in faith and believe that this is going to work. It won't work from the edge, guys. I guarantee you. You'll still be working. You will not be weaving. Okay? You've got to take that leap out there. But I'm on the other side now. I'm yelling, come on, man. This is where it is. This is where it works. So I want to give you some examples of how this has worked for me. See that logo up there in Houston? I created that in the process of this. I was making all the wrong mistakes and starting to learn how to do the right thing. And in that process, I ran into this idea of in Houston. On LinkedIn, they were opening groups for the first time. And I started, it was actually called LinkedIn Houston. And I got a call a couple months later after about 200, 300 people had joined, and they said, it was the law firm that was representing LinkedIn, and they said, you can't use LinkedIn Houston. You got to call it something else. I said, well, I got a lawyer on the phone. I'm going to get some free advice, right? If you ever talk to a lawyer on the phone and they'll tell you that, get some free advice. Think of something to ask things, right? That's my free advice for you. And I got him on the phone. I said, okay, so what do you think? In Houston, that worked for you? He said, hey, nothing wrong with me. So, you know, he said, that's great. That's why it's called In Houston. Turns out it's a great name, right?